Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Rolling up, I'm feeling fly, yeah, I'm so damn fresh. Got that platinum grill, blinging in the chest. Diamonds in my mouth, shining when I speak. That umbrella guy, flossing speaking geek. Ice on my teeth, I'm dripping so hard. Platinum grills, I'm the king of the boulevard. Throwing money in the club, making haters mad. I'm the baddest in the game, no one gets a pass. Ooh yeah. Crushing all these lines, yeah, I feel fly. Rolling on the dubs, that umbrella guy. Iced out flow on the boulevard. You ain't a comic gangster, don't be playing hard. Ice on my teeth, I'm flying so high. Dropping the bass, that umbrella guy. One grill to rule them all, one grill to bind them. Baby, I'm so iced out, gonna blind them. Rolling in town, I'm an army of one. Doing verbal walk-bys, blazing like the sun. Riding in my whip, crushing false accusers. Dropping off the bass on the real abusers. Yeah. Living life fast, no time for the slow. Justice on my mind, stacking up on that flow. Life in the fast lane, no time to blink. Ice on my teeth, watch it when I speak. Chillin' on my rhymes, never missing a beat. Ice on my teeth, yeah, I'm living that sweet. That umbrella guy, bringing the platinum heat.
Oh yeah, what's up folks? How's it going? Welcome to a Sunday edition of there's always funny stuff going on. Yesterday I thought about covering some, man, there is just always an epic level of stupid. How you folks doing today, by the way? I thought about, like I said, covering it. Here's another funny thing, too. I saw Robert, by the way, props to you. He was like, who had the late for 9 minutes? I'm like, that would make a good wager pool, What's the over-under on being late, Maybe being late plus introduction. How many minutes will it actually all come together and be? That you can make an over-under pool on it. Yesterday I was going to cover some stuff, but I ended up going out, taking the kids to there's a local tea room, like get a pot of tea, drink. Yeah. not really my forte, but the kids love it, so got dad duties that day. So we went out to that. We went to comic shops, ice cream, running around, and I watched movies with them. It was pretty fun, to be honest. I like the tea thing's a lot more fun with the kids. They're really funny to watch. They're a lot of fun to actually take to somewhere like that. But anyway, that put us on for today. let's check something out real fast here. Now, what's funny about today? By the way, Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership to kick this off, too. Appreciate you there. And Fake Laura, seeing you there. What's up? I was late. The HCD test proved why. Indeed. Is that why? Is that why? Oh, that's hilarious. Now, I wanted to cover two things today. The Taylor Lorenz stuff has been absolutely amazing to see. Now, I have a personal disdain for Taylor Lorenz. That's because Taylor, she decided when we were covering the Depp trial to not only put a bullseye on myself and other people, but after she was caught lying about it, she decided to instead, just like she's going to do today, instead of actually admitting what she had done with lying, she doubled down, did another Washington Post article, and it was one of the craziest hit pieces I've ever read. And you know, I got to be the villain for the entire YouTube sphere. It was crazy. You know, all these wrongs have happened, all of this terrible stuff, and the only bad guy that was named in there was me. I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. Now, Taylor has done some pretty horrible things in the past too. For example, I think the worst thing, well, one of the worst things, when she was going after the account Libs of TikTok, you can like, dislike, I always say that, you know. I think her methods were insane when she went after Libs of TikTok, though. She was going to try to dox and intimidate, and she went to the wrong house. She targeted the wrong woman, the wrong Jewish woman, because she shared the same name as the Libs of TikTok person. So she went to their house. They weren't there, so she told the woman's mother that she had been part of everything that had happened on January the 6th, you know, the allegations that would come with that, and she made some pretty nasty accusations about the lady. That was pretty nasty stuff, right? When that happened, that wasn't covered at all, really. Not in the mainstream, but Taylor Lorenz is hated. She is hated in the mainstream spheres. So when something happens that actually takes fire at her, oh, it gets good. Now, I'm going to show you this off of a post first, and then I'm going to pull up articles with it, okay? So I want you to just see the pile on, because it comes from everywhere. It's not from one corner of the internet that dislikes Taylor Lorenz. I'm talking about every corner of the internet seems to hate her. We're talking about everything from Libs of TikTok to NPR. I mean, you know, these are folks that they couldn't fucking agree on chewing bubble gum if it came to something tied into politics. But you know what they do agree on? Taylor Lorenz. So check this out. This is fascinating. It's so bizarre, too. It's so bizarre. So here's the Libs of TikTok post. I want to cover it off of that first, and then I'll show the articles on it. Like I said, you know, holy shit. Taylor Lorenz claimed a picture of her calling Joe Biden a quote-unquote war criminal. So she put up a picture of with Joe Biden, a comment about him, calling the man a war criminal, right? And again, you can have that opinion, you know, but instead of owning it because she got blowback for this, she decided to say, that's not real. That's edited. It's fake. Well, it turned out that it wasn't fake. In fact, not only was it not fake, but the people that went and exposed her for it were NPR. I mean, you can't make this up. So, Taylor Lorenz, I mean, she's all like, oh man, you know, you people, you fall from any dumbass edit someone makes. You know, talking about her making this statement. Again, it wouldn't be a big statement. It wouldn't be a big deal. You know, I call every politician at work, who gives a shit, right? But for Taylor Lorenz, it does matter. It does. It's part of her grift. and the grift, it went really bad. Now, you ever called out, like I said, all over the place. And it's, like I said, it's fascinating because she ends up getting investigated by the Washington Post for this. Now, of course, they're not going to do anything. They don't ever do anything about it. But still, this, again, it's not sticking to the back and forth sector with politics. You know, she crossed over that sacred line. You know, she's a hardliner. She's a hardliner. You know, all politicians aren't scumbags. It's only those politicians. She's a hardliner. And whoopsie, she crossed the line. You know, not supposed to do that. And she got kicked back in her place real fast. And she knew it was bad. So you can see, you know, posts about this. Again, we'll pull an article with the NPR exposing her for it, which is fascinating. Like I said, she went out and said it was all fake. Excuse my cigar there. But, yeah, so Taylor Lorenz claimed that the photo of Biden with the caption, war criminal, was digitally altered and not from her account. Turns out she was lying and is now being investigated by the Washington Post. This woman truly is a stain on the credibility of that paper. First of all, the Washington Post has no credibility. But even with the lack of credibility that they have, she still takes the paper lower. You know, I mean, she's like taking a dumpster fire. She's like running across a dumpster fire and pouring gasoline on said dumpster fire. You know, no credibility for her whatsoever. Anyhow, no credibility from Washington Post. You get them all together. Oh, they set a low bar. They set a very low bar indeed. But you can see, like, the senior editors of Washington Post are reviewing a prominent tech columnist's private story on social media, which appears to label President Biden a quote-unquote war criminal in a photo. The Post's Taylor Lorenz, by the way, here's a fascinating thing that I learned too today while I was tagging this video. I want to show you. Give me 1 second. I want to show you something on this too. So, Taylor Lorenz, by the way, give me 1 minute here. I want to show you. So, 1 second. Okay, so Taylor Lorenz has been in enough articles that she would be a taggable topic, right? Now, I put her in the topic headline for this. You know, we've got about 700 people, which we're doing good with, right? But I want to show you something. Okay, Taylor Lorenz is protected by the platform, too. So check this out. You can always tell this. This is how you can always tell, and then we'll go back to that post. But if you go to YouTube, now you can search any topic and it pop up. But if you hashtag a topic, let's say hashtag, and we do Taylor, okay. Now, if we start to go down the Lorenz rabbit hole, it stops. There is no autofill. So Taylor Lorenz is a protected topic on this. That means that you get throttled for talking about her. But she is such a fucking embarrassment that maybe she'll end up losing her freaking protection one day because of this stuff. I mean, there's certain people out there, they get the protection of platforms. Again, that is a throttled topic. No autofill for it. You know, if you have certain people with audiences, they can find that. But searching for her, it just means that anyone that's considered a trusted source can talk about her. But if you and I talk about her, we get throttled for it. Who cares? Oh, fuck her. I mean, she's a terrible person. So it's amazing too. These people can go out and talk all the trash they want about other people. I didn't get that lit sideways there. Thank you. Sorry about that. But check this out. So let's finish. this screenshot. Go to the next one. So the post, Taylor Lorenz attended a White House. I said Washington. I don't know why I said Washington. White House event for digital influencers on Wednesday. In the photo she shared with a circle of friends on Instagram, Biden appeared over her shoulder. The damning caption, damning, by the way, isn't that fascinating? Rests just below him, accompanied by a text frowny face. Now, after a frequent critic of hers, apparently, with the New York Post, I don't keep up with the slap fights amongst quote unquote journalists. You know, I've noticed, like I said, there's many people who don't like Taylor Lorenz, though. It's really funny on both sides of the aisle. She is a horribly seen person, but they revealed on the Instagram photo yesterday in a tweet. Lorenz wrote back at him saying, "You people will fall for any dumbass edit someone makes." A fact check appended to that tweet cited her apparent denial. The contextual note in the tweet says, Taylor Lorenz says this is digital minute. This is why I also, let me just say too, I hate the captions and the way that they currently exist on Twitter. You know, a lot of people, they're like, oh, you can hold people accountable, which is true. You can hold them accountable for some stuff, but it can be used by anyone, especially when you get into political fights. Basically, it's over who can bring the most people to get something captioned. You know, they can go in and call it fake. It's just become yet another weapon. And you can see that with Taylor Lorenz, because the caption there, it meant nothing. It went in, though, and the note said that Taylor Lorenz says the digital manipulation, which has added a false caption. So Lorenz told her editors that someone else had added the caption to the photo. Now, she loves doing this, by the way. She'll start with the people that are the furthest away from her. She'll start with you or I and blame us. And she'll get closer and she will bust anybody. It's amazing to see. I'm amazed that she did not get fired from the Washington Post when she had, you know, that kerfuffle with myself and Legal Bites and others. There were many others, but she had essentially claimed that she had reached out for a comment about stuff, and she didn't. She tried to cover her tracks by reaching out in the aftermath. And when all of that didn't work and it ended up getting picked up, you know, it ended up in national news. She threw her editors under the bus with the Washington Post. She threw the Washington Post staff under the bus. She'll throw anybody under the bus. So it always starts out further. And if people don't, you know, jump in and say that she's somehow the victim in that. And that works, you know, because people that are in those circles fear these folks. Like me, I don't give a fuck what any of these folks say. Who cares? I don't have to work with her, thank God. You know, I couldn't even imagine. I'd have to quit a place if I had to work with Taylor Lorenz. But it works. So, NPR obtained a screen grab of Lorenz's actual post, which contained that caption. It was not shared with a wider Instagram audience. She has 143,000 people there. 4 people with direct knowledge of the private Instagram story confirmed its authenticity with NPR. They spoke to NPR on the condition that they not be identified due to the professional sensitivity of the situation. And you know what that means, by the way, right? What that's saying there is they're afraid of Lorenz. Due to the professional sensitivity, a.k.a. she will try to ruin their damn lives. They are people that she shared. And again, who cares? I mean, if you want to call again, this is the problem with factioning, period. If I want to call every politician a war criminal, I should be able to. But they can't do that working with the Washington Post. It doesn't work. Not in election time. Can't be doing that kind of stuff. Big no-no. But what's fascinating, like I said, it's not just the denial, which that's its own layer. You know, and it goes again back to old behavior. But again, the other part of that are people worried that she is going to absolutely train wreck their lives due to the professional sensitivity. Yeah. The sensitivity, they want to keep their profession. It's amazing that people like Lorenz have, you know, they were given artificial power, by the way. These are nothing more than TMZ gossip mongers. But they were given credibility with major news sites, which are nothing more oftentimes than TMZ gossip mongering sites too. They pretend to have credibility. But anyway, so our executive editor and senior editors take the violation of our standards seriously. A spokesman for the newspaper told NPR, "We're aware of the alleged post and we're looking into it." She declined that. Now, about an hour after originally circulating it, she removed the picture with a war criminal from her private Instagram chat, publicly posted the same picture on social media, this time with no caption. So see what she did is she tried to cover her tracks, just like she's tried to do many other times. many other times. So what she does, she tries to confuse the subject. Oh, no, this was my real post. And it's like, I mean, I do all kinds of stuff that if you just look at stuff as a subscriber race, you know, which some of these people do, like her, or a clout race. I mean, it's ridiculous. But that's who they are. Some pro-Palestinian protesters have sought to tag Biden with the label war criminal. They know for the deaths in Gaza caused by Israel, an American ally. The context of her posting, however, is not entirely clear. So let's look at the article itself. It's just it's amazing. They're like, this is really why it's about. And it's like, you just said you don't have any context. They actually tried to make excuses for it. So here's the article itself, and it's fascinating. Here's the rest of it. That was a clean read of some of that. I mean, look at this, though. It's fascinating to look through, like I say. You see, you know, again, all of that noted. I'm rolling down to where we were. They also said, you know, the phrasing and image, which includes a frowny face with a colon and open parentheses, closely tracks an online meme. Lorenz has since told associates that a close friend took her posted picture and superimposed the caption upon it as a joke, and that she shared it with the group on the private Instagram posting. Wait a minute. So she got caught. You see how this is going? This is how this is played out. So she went from denial, saying, you idiots, you believe anything? People went out, they were like, oh, no, Taylor didn't do that at all. You have all these newspaper articles, all these sites that come out in defense of that. Then NPR itself, that they decide that they're going to look into it. You have 4 people reach out. They're like, yeah, that actually happened. And she's like, yeah, you know what? It did happen. But guess who's to blame? A close friend. So, you've gone from throwing critics under the bus, throwing just average people under the bus, to throwing close friends under the bus. You know what's funny here, too? They actually, despite doing this and calling her a liar, they still plug her book. They still plug her damn book. Oh my God. They wrote a long article about her too. You know, her controversies. I love this because, you know, this is a long article for her. You usually get like a sentence or so. And this is actually criticism of some of her stuff. Lorenz has also courted controversy online, in print, and in real life. During the peak of the beer bug, and since its ebb, she's inspired mockery from conservative, I think mockery from a lot of people. And it's not because of a mask thing. It's because of her claims where she's made up sickness so she could cloutmonger it. You know, the way they're like, those conservatives. It's like, no. I know plenty of people, both sides of the political aisle, or no side of the political aisle, that have laughed at her. And it's not because of a mask thing. It's because she went out and she tried to create clout out of this and said, I need to do that because. On leaving the Times 2 years ago, she told Vanity Fair that she hoped the paper would evolve in their ways in regard to digital culture and social media. The Times publishers also called for an emphasis on journalistic independence, urged staffers to shun online posting with ideological leanings or snark. Though Lorenz writes many articles, the Post has designated her a columnist. How does that happen, by the way? Giving her more leeway in print and online. Yes, a columnist. And she has repeatedly gotten into situations. Yet the Post itself has a tradition of reining in journalists' public social media remarks. In 2022, the Post fired reporter Felicia Sonmez, for insubordination over tweets about treatment of female journalists. Suspended Dave W. for relaying a joke seen as sexist. So again, what they're telling you here in the bottom of this is it's a veiled comment saying, you know, you guys would fire other people for this kind of stuff, no matter how innocuous that would be. Because again, it goes against your bylines right now. And it's just amazing to see. So Taylor Lorenz, again, she gets wrecked lying. And she doesn't have it. Again, you have all of these different places come together. It's amazing. Well, what I have been amazed by with any of the Taylor Lorenz stuff, anything that I've seen, again, unity amongst factions that they fight. They fight heavily over anything. But Taylor Lorenz is the great uniter. I mean, maybe she could cure world hunger. War. All you gotta do is she just needs to make a... If she was like, yeah, those people over wherever don't deserve a Big Mac. If she was to make a statement like that, we could cure world hunger. You want to get rid of war? I mean, it's amazing. I remember, like, with all the craziness that came up with her, I had all of these journalists start following my account, and it was funny because I kept making fun of some of them, you know, because I didn't want them there, because they're all scumbags. So I didn't want them there, so I kept making fun of them, you know, and but it was fascinating because you had all these people that, again, they're life ruiners themselves. Many of them. They target people. They do horrible things. They're just as bad as Taylor Lorenz. Taylor Lorenz just is so flagrant about it. It's amazing. And again, she's managed to dodge every single volley aimed at her because she's one of those youthful idiots that go out and, again, they'll gossip monger against people. They will ruin people's lives. So hey, They always get protection. Wasn't very protective here, though. What's up, fake Laura, by the way? Thanks for that. See, nobody believed me when I said Taylor altered my sonogram. Who's laughing now? I didn't realize that. My bad, totally. You could have probably united the courts, for that if that would have been the byline in the court. You could have gone judge, prosecutors, everything. Ugh. And Zandra, thanks for the gifted membership too. Now, the Laura Owens, speaking of that stuff, I just thought this was funny. I really wanted to cover this. Taylor Lorenz, like I said, I love watching her stupid cause her problems. She's wanted to ruin people. Again, in coming after myself, I take a personal glee in watching these issues that she keeps up with. Oh, I love it. But the other subject that we put in here too. Now this subject, it's fascinating because it keeps building on the... I hear a kid real quick. Hey, who opened the door? What you need, kiddo?
Open the drink.
All right, come here, bring it to me. 1 second, we'll pull this up.
Walking down the stairs.
I know. Hey, what do you have? Those aren't your shoes? Are those your shoes? Yeah, okay, you got your shoes on. Be careful on the steps, okay?
Yeah, be careful.
Okay. You gotta be careful off the steps too, I'm gonna say. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, there's your Pez dispenser. Does it have any Pez in it though?
Yep. Yes, it does.
Oh, it does. Okay, take it with you too. Here.
I'll
There you
just check it if it has a lot of piss in it. I'll just check it if it has a lot of piss in it.
Okay, well you can, it's totally you. Okay? Be careful on the steps, alright?
I'm not trying this piss for the next morning. I go try one piss at a time.
Yeah, of course. You always want to eat one Pez at a time. That's very smart. That's very smart. You
Don't
want
put two in your mouth.
Yeah, that's right. You don't put two in your mouth. Alright. I'll see you later.
You
Bye.
want a high five?
Yeah, give me a high five real quick.
And a
Cover
fist
that.
bump.
And a fist bump. Boom. And a buddy bump. There. Boom. All right. All right. Hey, close that door for me, too, because sound upstairs is really loud. Okay?
How's it loud?
Yeah, sometimes I hear it, So if you close it for me, I appreciate it, okay?
Okay.
All right, be careful on the steps. Love you.
I gotta use my shoes because my hands are full.
Okay. All right, let's check this out here. That's a little Miss 5 going on 30 there. Now, if you haven't kept up with so much of the crazy that has been going on with Laura Owens and with her lawyer, remember, we have had some amazing stuff that has happened over the last few weeks. I want to play something. I've played this before, but I think I just want to add this again. I don't care. I actually want to add this into what we're going to discuss today. Laura Owens and her lawyer have taken quite a few L's lately. One of the loveliest L's, I would have to say, is, again, this wonderful piece of coverage. You have local media asking prosecutors about what's going on with her. She's having her problems, and her lawyer is having their problems too. They're having their own problems. Now, we ended up with the complaints that they fielded actually being leaked. First, I want to play this. It's short. It's a minute. I'm just going to let it play because it's good. And then we'll get into the wonder of complaints, because those are fascinating. Those are really fascinating, actually.
Are you able to provide an update as to where you're at in that process and potentially a time frame as to when a decision could be made?
I know, in fact, I was talking to one of the investigators working on it this morning about an update, and I know they're going through it quickly. They've talked to a number of people, and as you can imagine, it's gathering information from a number of different sources, medical, courts, etc. So they're busy working on that.
And then just generally, when looking at a case like that, how usual or typical or unusual is it to have a case referred to your office in the way that it was, when a judge makes a ruling in a family court case and then it ends up in your hands?
You know, I've seen that happen before. I've actually had cases where that's happened, and the judge has referred. Typically, it's for perjury charges. They'll refer it directly to our office. So that part's not uncommon. Obviously, the nature of the case is exceptional.
The nature of the case is, I love that. I just had to play that again. Just because. I mean, we're talking about consequences. That's the discussion here. It's about consequences of action. And those are pretty interesting consequences of action. And it's fascinating to hear prosecutors be like, yeah, we get things referred, typically for perjury. But this is not typical. The circumstances of a case are exceptional. Okay. You also have the complaints coming in for her lawyer. Now, let me pull some of this stuff up. Now, his responses to complaints are wild. I keep wondering when I see the responses. I'm pulling them up. Just give me a second. There's so many pages of them. I'm loading them in and closing out other stuff. Because, I mean, you talk about wild. I mean, this guy, he didn't want to put up his response at first. He was like, yeah, I'm not going to give it to those people over there that he keeps calling a cult, by the way. He's referring to people that have kept up with this as a cult. And it's fascinating because he's looking down the barrel of prosecution. I'm not prosecution, but the bar responding, not prosecution. That was a misstatement by me. But he's looking down the barrel of potential consequences. That's where I was going with that. Now, his response to this stuff is, I mean, it's amazing. You talk about a lot of stuff. And again, through all of his different responses to this, we have so much. What I love, by the way, let me throw this in here first. One of my favorite parts is just reading some of this stuff. I'm like, hey, I kind of caused that one. Wrong one. Give me a minute. There's 3 of these. I mean, he's got so many pages here. It's like, good Lord. Let's see. This is the right one. Okay. I love, if you look, he's like, screenshots, they're below here. And he's like, note this account, the tramp stamp lawyer. I'm like, baby, that's not my account. That is not my account, by the way. But I'm like, man, it's so funny. Because he is so dishonest about where that comes up. Megan Fox and he can't aim at these people or anything else. That was indeed a joke. It was a joke. And he's like, listen to this. This is so good. This account, Tramp Stamp Lawyer, is a parody criticism account by the JFC cult, which is focused on publishing negative information about me. If there was positive information to post, people would post it. But if you're a damn moron, I mean, well, what else can they post? But listen, before you ask, I have no idea what the significance of this term is. I'll tell you what it is. I said that he was the lawyer equivalent of a tramp stamp. That's what the significance is. If you don't understand that, then you're lying to yourself. But he's like, I don't have any tattoos on me. Listen to this shit. This is amazing. I love it. I love it. He's like, I have no significance. A tramp stamp is usually refers to a tattoo on a woman's lower back. I do not have any tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. Oh my God. Oh, it hurts me. Nor does Laura, to my knowledge. In any event, I've never threatened anyone behind this gown. I don't have any tattoos. I don't know what they're talking about here. Oh my God. It hurts me. Holy shit. Oh my God. How can this be real? You ever like look at stuff, you be like, this can't be, this has to be a parody show. Am I in a parody skit? Did I wake up in like some alternate reality parody show? Is Ashton Kutcher gonna pop out and be like, the last 6 months that you cover in this case, that's all been a punk show. I'll be like, oh, it makes sense now. It totally makes sense. Because this can't be real, can it? Oh, but it is. But it is. You're going to have to give me a second. That is so funny. So much of this is so good. And I mean, he writes essays about this stuff. Look at this. I mean, blah, 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 blah. Look at he includes pictures like this. Oh my God. It hurts me. It's so bad. Oh, is this a real filing? Yes, he did indeed. He turned this in as a response to a bar complaint. Holy shit. Oh my God, how do you do this? How? I mean, look at this stuff. Oh my God. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, shall we? I wanted to show you that verse. It really cracked me up. By the way, props to Reddit. I don't know the specific user that posted and redacted all this madness, but props to you. I really do appreciate you folks that do all this redaction. It's a lot of work. By the way, if you'd like to support the channel, I'm going to shill for a second. Make sure that you do. I'm sure that our first topic by its own will probably get us demonetized, but if it doesn't, it definitely will get us throttled. It still needs to be discussed, though. This is going to be fun to go over. So, again, if you enjoyed the channel, share this everywhere, and if you'd like to back, consider that. Okay, here we go. I mean, look at all the pages, by the way. Look at this madness. Look at it all. And this is one of 3. Attached is my response to the charge redacted. As before, I've CC'd my client. Since the allegations relate to the case, although Ms. Redacted consent is not required, she has nonetheless reviewed this response and given her prior informed written consent to its content. As I indicated in my other response, because there's so much response, we have so much to go over. Ms. Redacted is happy to discuss this matter with bar counsel and to provide any additional information you may need, except for the fact that, you know, like I said, I played at the beginning. They lost in court, and yeah, in losing, some of the stuff that they did was insane. Outing a victim that had never had their name public. That was his first move, very first move. aiming at other people, motivating them to come in. I mean, just insane stuff. If you've not kept up with this case, you have messed out on some crazy, but, oh my God. Marina, thanks for the tint there, by the way. Your laughter is contagious. A little breadstick money. Thank you for the breadstick money, by the way. I get a lot. You know, some people will fake them. I don't ever want to fake them. You can tell, like, if I'm not having a good day, I try not to ever live stream, but you can tell that. If I run across something and it really does strike me as funny, like, it takes me a minute sometimes. Just because, you know, I realize some people out there, like, they fake anger. Like, I don't want to be angry. Yeah, some people will be legitimately angry. I'm not saying anybody that you listen, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just saying some people, you know, they increase the emotional content, you know, for dramatic effect. Like, man, I'm laughing because it's stupid and I think it's funny. That's it. So, they put in her phone number. She's easily reached, you know. She's read the charge from redacted. I do not believe bar counsel needs my consent to communicate directly with her. Could you imagine Laura being your go-to person for your defense, by the way? You need to hit up Laura. Laura is going to be your defender. I mean, can you imagine, like, not only is this her lawyer being like, yo, I want you to reach my client. But my God, you have some pretty bad circumstances when Miss referred for prosecution is your defender. So good morning. Let's look at this. Attached to the letter from Senior Bar Counsel James Lee regarding the above referenced matter. Also attached a protective order that was issued in this matter. Here's our letter from Mr. Lee. Letter is a response to yours dated August 7th regarding a complaint you received from redacted. As explained below, the complaint has no basis whatsoever. Like, this is, again, you know. I love this stuff. As I've got to settle down. Okay, I'm a professional. I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good. Sorry, it took me a minute. Okay. It has no basis whatsoever, and it should be promptly dismissed. After reviewing the charge from redacted, I need to be honest. Her allegations are largely, if not completely, unintelligible. I have no idea who this person is. I've never met redacted, so I have no personal knowledge regarding allegations except to the extent that they are described in the charge you received. Having said that, I'll do my best to decipher her allegations and respond as best I can because the charge contains multiple repetitive statements which appear to raise general points. I'll try to lump them together and respond to each group in turn to help provide contents, or context, I said contents, context. He has killed 3 or 4 brain cells in reading already. the ones that languageify. I think they're lying dead on the floor. I explained in my response to the charge, Dr. Deans. I represent a woman, Laura Owens, with respect to a single case. That matter involved a petition to explain paternity. August 1st, 2023. In short, Laura claimed she had a one-night stand with Clayton Echard, former star, bachelor. In the petition, she claimed she was pregnant with a child or children. She petitioned for paternity. She claims she has a miscarriage. I'm hitting highlights, but I'm not spending a lot of time on these sentences, okay? You know, again, you know this, but I like to be completionist. So she files a dismissal, December 28th. This is, again, his narrative. Confusingly, they granted the motion to dismiss, but then allowed it to go forward June 10th. The trial was supposed to focus on requests for sanctions based on allegations she faked pregnancy. Obviously, she strenuously lied. Denied. My bad, I put the wrong word. Man, that language problem. Denied, not lied, of course, never, right? That she ever faked being pregnant. I first appeared on this March 25th. Prior to this, I had no involvement in any kind of dispute. That tells you, by the way, how long he was in, and yet what a train wreck this guy made of this fucking case. He motivated people to come to court that had been names prior. You know, people that had prior dealings with Laura. Folks that I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb to say that they probably wouldn't have been there if it would not have been for David Gangris. I mean, seriously. By the way, Sandra, thanks for the gifted membership. I can't remember if I hit that, but if I did, thanks again. If I didn't, thanks thanks again. Emma, thanks for the 5. Not a lot of things made me smile, but your laugh does. Best laugh. Never stop laughing at the stupid, please. The stupid keeps us all going, by the way. And fake Laura, thank you, too. Thanks for the 5. Hey, all 18 of my attorneys have said I was the greatest. I was a great documentarian. I know, man. What are they talking about, right? What are they talking about, indeed? So, important. Laura. It's also a separate matter involving Clayton. The other matter was not a paternity case. They bring up the order of protection. In short, the order of protection, she claimed Clayton harassed her by posting an embarrassing, partially nude photograph after the hearing, which she was represented by someone else. Look at the lie in this, by the way. This would have been shot down if you would have actually had any control within the court that made the ultimate decision on her. But the court found in favor, granted the order. After the OOP case ended, March 26, 2024, Clayton's attorney filed for a motion, an OOP case requesting relief, an order based on fraud. In short, man, why is in short never short, by the way? In short, Clayton's attorney claimed she was never pregnant, thus ineligible for protective order. To help respond to that, I entered my appearance in the OOP case. However, the OOP case was later consolidated with the pregnancy, so I filed nothing further in that. Turning to specific claims in Redacted's complaint, she appears primarily focused on the paternity case between Laura and Clayton. Based on her language, it is clear that she is a member of the JFC cult. I really, again, cults usually have some kind of like, do you have to dress the same? Or, what gets you into the cult there? I'm curious. Like, what standard do I have to adopt to be part of a cult? It's amazing. Deanna, thanks for the 10 there. Hillbilly beer rocks. Hillbilly beer. I feel like that's what David's answers. They could all be labeled hillbilly beer. Moonshine. That's what it is. I feel like it, man. I feel like something's killing brain cells, like I said in this. Based on her language, though, she's part of the JFC cult, to which I previously described. Her complaint is essentially nothing but a copy-paste of the JFC cult's talking points, which have been shared online by their cult members. In case this isn't obvious, the JFC cult sees me as a threat to their goal of obtaining justice. A threat? Holy shit, I see you as the ultimate motivator. Not as a threat. You made all this possible, David. Let's all give David a round of applause, baby. Good job, David. You were probably one of the dumbest fucking lawyers I've ever seen on this fucking planet. And I've covered a lot of stupid lawyers in my time. So, that really says something. So a threat to it? No. I think he helped quite a bit. So these complaints are presented solely for the purpose of harassing me, trying to interfere with my representation of Laura. Having said that, to the extent I understand the claims, here are the responses. Releasing sealed documents. That's about Dr. Deans. So Dr. Deans was asked about sealed documentation. She was asked if consent had been given. And we have talked about this many times. But the judge made it very clear that none of that stuff was supposed to be coming out. Don't be publishing medical records. Nobody, either party, don't engage in that behavior. So, redacted makes several references suggesting I somehow violated a court order by publishing sealed or confidential information. Here are a few general examples quoted. Violating the rules of releasing sealed documents without court permission, releasing sealed documents without court permission, breaching confidentiality and contempt of court by unauthorized release of sealed documents, instances of releasing sealed photos, medical records, and videos on social media, a video depicting Clayton Echard's deposition, which was sealed in, was allegedly made public before the trial schedule. June 10th, 2024. As I previously explained, there's no court order sealing anything. This is a popular JFC talking point. I mean, can you imagine mailing people, by the way, and being like, these people belong in a cult? I mean, could you imagine not making your points, but going with this type of stupid language? I can't even imagine it. On the contrary, as I previously explained, while Laura was representing herself pro se, she filed a motion September 14th, asked for it all to be sealed, essentially. She was denied. That's his favorite talking point, by the way. We've shot that down thoroughly. Thoroughly. So I'm not spending a lot of time laughing at the stupid that he goes through there. After Laura retained counsel, the one before me, her attorney re-raised the same privacy arguments. See the documentation he quotes, a copy of that. Well, this motion expressly asks for that to be marked confidential. You can see denial. Aside from two separate motions filed by Laura asking the court to seal the records, Clayton never asked the court for similar relief. The judge made a statement about it. Clayton, again, the judge said, don't do it. And here's the thing. No other lawyer would have done this shit. Nobody else would have. But David did. David, it reminds me of, there's a little thing I always like comparing stuff like this to. It's kind of like juggling dynamite. You know, you can go out and make a roadside attraction of juggling dynamite. Actually lit dynamite. Maybe it'd make a good show, but sooner or later, there's going to be a big boom. And yeah, you don't want to have to be around cleaning up the mess. That reminds me of David, his style of quote-unquote defending. He goes in and wants to play very loose with anything that's been set down. He wants to pretend none of that existed. Because he likes to juggle that dynamite. And it always makes a mess. You noticed, he's made so many messes with this. So he goes through, he says he never moved for, the court never granted any order restricting, simply is nothing in the docket, remotely supporting that conclusion, bearing in mind if the court order existed, which it does not. The Arizona Supreme Court has previously determined a trial court cannot lawfully prohibit the publication of matters occurring in open court. Any order is... So he's saying it didn't matter if it was there anyway. Even if the court said no publication of medical records into the public. Again, we're not talking about court documentation. We're talking about the redaction of specific We're going to say delicate information. You know, things like, again, financial records, medical records, stuff like that. Things you don't typically see dumped out into the public. And that's what the judge was like, hey, I don't want to see that happening. This probably explains why the court repeatedly denied a request to confidentiality privacy, and why the court specifically rejected her request to keep deposition transcripts confidential. No, the court did that because of the extremes that Laura had taken on, I would say. The fact that she wanted this stuff to be public. She went out of her way to make this stuff public, but then suddenly wanted to do an about face after she had repeatedly thrown out information that was very embarrassing for Clayton Echard. Put him in a really nasty spot. Now, in fairness, there is a single sentence buried in minute entry order issued February 2024, which seems to reflect some sort of informal agreement between the parties not to publish medical records disclosed by any party. But in this instance, Clayton never disclosed any medical records of any kind. The only medical records at issue belonged to Laura. She chose to publish them to respond to false statements from the JFC cult, Clayton, and or his lawyers. He even goes in and agrees that there is a statement talking about that. And that's not the way the statement in the court was showcased. So he wants to pretend, oh, in fairness. And he just skips over that. Witness tampering. This is another JFC talking point. Cult talking point, my bad. They claim I committed witness tampering because I threatened to have a witness arrested. Here's what actually happened. During the course of discovery, Clayton disclosed that he intended to call a trial witness, Mike Mancini. Mike Mancini is an ex-boyfriend of Laura who resides in San Francisco. She dated him 2 years. The entirety of Clayton's disclosure regarding is stated here. As I would in any case, while preparing, I reached out to the person listed for him, Randy C. Pollock, to ask again, I'm hitting highlights, you can see, to learn more about expected testimony. After speaking, she told me she never heard of that case, did not believe he would be there. Has affirmed this to me in writing. Here's the email a few weeks later. Just days before the disclosure discovery cutoff, Clayton's counsel informed me, in fact, contrary to this, that he would appear, testify. In response, I explained there were several problems. First, Clayton had failed to disclose anything about the expected substance of Mike Mancini's testimony. Second, and again, remember, court ruled on this stuff. So as complaints, they have two proper meanings. Those two proper meanings are jack and shite. That's right. That's what the meaning there is. Second, I had noted Laura had a valid DVRO issued against him in San Francisco County Superior Court. The order does not contain any exception. Third, I explained under federal law, it'd be a serious crime for him to engage in interstate travel to violate. Fourth, I explained the California DVRO, it couldn't be modified or ignored. Despite these concerns, I told Mr. Woodnick I would be happy to work with him to obtain permission. Yeah, right. And he's like, I'm also currently licensed to practice in California. The only condition I asked was to comply with disclosure obligations. Mr. Woodnick rejected that, leaving us an impasse. After I was unable to reach any agreement, I filed an emergency request for a hearing. The request was denied. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about your luck. It was denied. In order to preserve the issues, I filed a pretrial statement. I explained it to be a crime for him to be there, violating the order, subject him to arrest. There's absolutely nothing unethical or inappropriate about any of these parts there. As for the California DVR order, the order complies with VAWA, automatic mandatory enforcement. The order further contains exactly the same warning that redacted points to as alleged witness tampering. It notes Mr. Mancini is subject to arrest for violation. Therefore, clearly, there's nothing improper. Writing the same warning. Wait a minute. Did we leave out the part about there's something missing in that. There's a big something missing in that. You know, like what happened in the courtroom there. Posted a video of his client lifting her dress above her boobs. Oh, Lord. They charged some vague comment that I posted about this case, claiming one such video purportedly shows the client, Laura, in a matter that may be deemed appropriate for public disclosure. Gingrich posted a video of his client lifting her dress above her boobs to show blue bra and black panty line. I don't even know. What is she talking about? What about that? Oh my God. Here's why. So he talks about the moon bump. It's just amazing. Like he throws this stuff in there. He's like, what about that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, what is up with that account? Look at that. It's got a Monopoly figure dragging off Laura. It's called Moon Bump, at the Moon Bump. It's been redacted. They redacted that. But I mean, yeah, you know what it says there. Look at this. This is mentioned too. In any case, this cruel gambit unfortunately worked exactly as Mr. Woodnick intended. The JFC cult seized on the story and repeatedly spread Mr. Woodnick's moon bump claim far and wide. An anonymous cult member even created a new Twitter account mocking her, showing a photo of her crying while being dragged away by the popo, the Monopoly popo, and suggesting to lock her up. Also noted that Moon Bump has tweeted 980 times about the case. This guy, he was over here arguing with an account called I Eat Boogers. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my life. My life. As the old saying goes, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. This is exactly what happened. She hired me after suffering months of damage by cruel, patently false moon bump story. If there's no pregnancy, that would pretty much the court seem to agree. If we're talking about the process of elimination, with them saying that it never happened. Laura asked me to stop the damage. To do this, she asked me to publish a video herself 24 months after the court appearance in which she allegedly wore a fake belly. This video clearly shows the allegation she wore the moon belly was completely false. Now, again, the video was posted with her consent. It's just amazing to see this. Ugh. So he arranged for excessive security, including a bomb squad, drug-sniffing dogs, a police escort. Welcome to the crazy world of the JFC cult. I see in her June 26, 2024 email, she identifies as part of the Justice for Clayton Collective. Interesting term. It seems like, people that aren't insane, they may not have to self-identify as anything, but yeah, it seems like law and order. The law's on the book. They actually agree with that too. I have very little response to this, except I did not arrange for a bomb squad. To my knowledge, no bomb squad was there. If it was, it wasn't me. I have no idea about a drug-sniffing dog. If there was that there, I did not notice them. Court security did provide an escort to and from court for myself and Laura. This was done at Laura's request because she had received death threats from the JFC cult, and because Mr. Maroncini threatened to violate the DVR order. He didn't threaten shit. He came there, they note, without permission. Yeah, he was given permission by the court. It's called a legal document in which, yeah, he very much. Then he made a unwanted 911 call, during which he followed the witness and disclosed personal information to the operator. As explained above, Laura had and still has a valid lawful court order. So he must be 300 feet away, no, that exception. On the morning of the trial, she informed me she saw Mike Maroncini in the parking lot. She asked me to contact law enforcement. I initially contacted court security, but they advised they were unable to help. They specifically told me the only option was to call 911. Hasn't his story changed with this, by the way? Hasn't he changed his story a couple of times? I seem to recall there being changes in the narrative. I initially contacted court security, advised they're unable to help. Now, for whatever it's worth, Judge Matta Division specifically instructs all party counsel to call 911 if they believe in danger of physical harm. Ugh. Clear had every right to do that. Finally, I have no idea what Redacted is talking about during the 911 call. I followed the witness. I mean, it's crazy. Again. So his exhibits, again. And you can see his exhibits in here. We're not spending a lot of time on exhibits. We're just going to roll through and see what's through documentation. A, B. You know, you can see the orders that he wants to throw in. Like I said, I'm just being completionist and showing this one. Okay, we're not going to read every one of those. Okay, let's look at this other. Give me 1 second. You also, so check this out too. I mean, my God. Look at the amount of stuff that he applied there. So here's a second wonderful listing as well. Look at all that. Oh my God. Look at this mess. Look at all this stuff. His exhibits, his notations. Oh my God. I mean, so much crazy. Look at all this mess. Can you imagine? Like, it's like he tried to paper them. And then, of course, you know, my favorite. I want to read over this part again. I want to read this whole email here that I was laughing about before. So, as a follow-up to yesterday's email, I need to add a couple of supplemental comments regarding the charges from, after, or shortly before. The timestamps on Twitter are not necessarily reliable. My response to you yesterday, Redacted posted information about our bar charge on Twitter. I did not know about this at the time. I sent my response. I only learned about it yesterday evening. Screenshots of Redacted's tweet are included, and a link to our post is here. You should be able to see it. So, you know, Tramp Stamp Esquire. He noted that about Tramp Stamp too. I have to read this again. It just makes me laugh. This Twitter account, Tramp Stamp Lawyer, is a parody criticism account created by the JFC cult, which focuses on publishing negative information about me. Before you ask, I do not understand. I have no idea what the significance of the term is, Tramp Stamp. usually refers to a tattoo on a woman's lower back. I do not have any tattoos, noted she. In any event, I've never threatened whoever is behind the account. I am blocked from following the account, so I cannot see their tweets while using normal Twitter account. The reason we know a redacted post this is pretty simple. The tweet included a copy of the bar's letter to her dated yesterday. Although she redacted her name, she did not redact the file number. Obviously, I have no issue with Redacted or anyone else posting truthful statements, fair criticism. However, I do object to them sharing matters of public right. Nor do I share, brother. That's how the law works. Redacted asked the bar for a protective order to prevent me from retaliating against her. As I indicated in my letter yesterday, I have no idea who Redacted is. I never communicated with her, nor have I threatened her in any way. This is the first time I saw her name was you submitted charge to me yesterday. You know, it's fascinating, by the way. He's like, I know who those names are, but I'm not going to post them. It's like, I hear you. So it's a second point. I'm concerned Redacted may have misunderstood Mr. Lee's comments, June 26, 2024, email to her. In that email, advised Redacted correctly. The statements made, they're subject to absolute privilege. That statement is, of course, completely true. I have no problem with it. However, any suggestion that Redacted is wholly immune from suit just because she has also submitted a complaint to the bar is completely and potentially misleading. He's threatening to sue this person. He's threatening a lawsuit. Isn't that amazing? I'm concerned the reference to immunity. This letter may have caused Redacted to believe incorrectly that she is absolutely immune from suit for any public statement made on social media simply because she also made the same statements to the bar. That is absolutely not correct. A bar statement does not grant the complainant carte blanche to publish defamatory statements elsewhere, such as on social media. Again, threats to sue. These people who have done this fucked up mess, they want to threaten to sue other people. It never stops, man. It never stops. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Free speech unless. They can go out and they can smear and slander. They vilified. They talk about people being in a fucking cult. That by itself. Oh, really? Like I said, I don't remember joining any cult. But see, it's like, oh my God, I'll sue them. Then he says, though, I don't have any intention of doing that. And it's like, clearly. Well, I have no intention of suing her and anyone else. If Redacted posts false or defamatory content about me on the internet, she'd be subject to liability for defamation regardless of whether she also happened to make the same statement to the bar. I think it's very important she understands this. I think it is clear she does not understand this. I'm not going to sue. She needs to understand that I will sue. I mean, isn't that crazy? I also explained in my letter from yesterday, it's important for Mr. Lee, baller staff to know the JFC cult is extremely dangerous. Now you're all extremely dangerous, man. Extremely dangerous. Now that's fascinating to me. Considering, defaming people. Extremely dangerous. Why? Because they put a laugh track to your name, David? Is that what the problem is? Does that make us all dangerous? In addition to making false statements to you, which they believe they can do with impunity, they're huge fans of doxing anyone they dislike. The only person that got doxed in this, by the way, that I'm really able to just lay my finger on is David dumping out the information about a victim, and a potential witness. A patient zero, if you will. At least as we understand that. To me, that would be doxing. I think that fits in. They will typically publish any and every document they find which supports their narrative or which appears to denigrate myself or Laura or anyone else they like. Actually, every document comes up. It's fascinating. If you go through like Reddit pages, one of the things, like you can't read every fucking document that David puts up. Why? Because at certain points, he papered this trial. And in order to go through, I like to be completionist. I like to cover every document, put it out there, make sure that it's read, make sure that you see it. But at points, there were hundreds and hundreds of pages that were just being dumped over and over again, plus all of the insanity that went with blogs, that went with posts. Like, you could not keep up. But as far as the publication of anything related to that matter that had been brought up with, again, Reddit, Clayton's Justice, people like, again, Dave covered everything. It's mama, you know. For me, like I said, I like to give a certain amount of time to make sure that I see everything that's there. And you couldn't. Like, if you didn't cover it right in the moment, it's too much. Even then, sometimes it's too much. But because of this, I'm confident Redacted and the other cult members will publish any and every document relating to this matter in an effort to make me appear falsely that I am guilty of some wrongdoing. Now, how does that deal with doxing? How is that doxing right there? The court documents that appear publicly were covered. Where was the doxing? For that reason, I respectfully ask Mr. Lee to exercise caution in his full correspondence with them. He should be aware that any and everything sent to them will be posted online by her, not me. At the very least, you know it's crazy too. Like these folks, they could dump something and then claim like, oh, those other people. Ugh. Mr. Lee should also inform Redacted the Supreme Court Rule 48 does not provide immunity from claims arising from publication of false and defamatory statements on social media or anywhere outside of the scope where the rule protects. One final note in my letters yesterday, I suggested very likely the bar has received or will receive many additional complaints related to that about him. I realize the statement probably sounds paranoid, but there was a very specific reason for that. One of the primary leaders of the JFC cult is a YouTube content creator named Dave Neal. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God. Dave Neal. By the way, K-Rab, thanks for 27 bucks. Get the bar, just ask the judge if he's prohibited from releasing any info on social media and they have the authority to. They could review whatever they need to. I mean, there are clips of it. Easily. And Jennifer, thank you for the $13.99 there because you're great. Thank you. You are great as well. I appreciate you. Dave Neal, the cult member, cult leader. He's one of the primary leaders. I wonder who all the primary leaders are. Is that anyone with channel time? I don't know. I blame Megan Fox. Hey, I'm going to text her right now and tell her I blame her. Give me a second. I'm not going to tell her why. I'm going to be like, let me see. I'm going to write, hey, Megan, I blame you for everything. And I'm going to put LOL. I just randomly texted her that. Hey, Megan, I blame you for everything. Shit. Okay, let's continue. She'd be like, what the hell is that about? He claims to be a journalist. He's not. You know, by the way, there is no standard for being a quote-unquote journalist. You don't have to work for any public. That's not how it works. It's fascinating. These people are like, you're not a journalist. Really? Okay. Based on. Instead, his primary source of income is posting self-created videos on YouTube. Yeah, huh. So he can't do that and be a journalist. Well, you need to tell all these journalists that do that. They're not journalists either. He's also friends with Mr. Echard. He personally attended the trial, June 10th. He even set up a tent outside of the court where he live streamed for several hours before it. Oh, you mean like a journalist would? He even went to the trial and live streamed? Oh my God. I didn't realize journalists actually did stuff like, oh wait, I did. Over the last several months, he's published hundreds of hours of video about me and Laura and me. Among other things, anytime a new pleading is filed in this, he will obtain a copy from the court. And sit and read the entire pleading word for word. Wait a minute, I thought he didn't read everything. I thought it was some narrative. So you're telling me that Dave Neal goes in and reads every pleading word for word? What a monster, in the pursuit of justice. He reads them all? How does that work? He earns money based on the length of videos and the number of views each video receives, so he has an incentive to post as much content as possible and make it as inflammatory as possible. To be honest, the Clayton Echard trial is not a big number draw. Not at all. And reading entire documents is even less of a number draw. So to go in and to say, oh, you're covering this for sensationalism, you're covering it because, no. If you look at numbers for that, sheer volume, it doesn't work like that at all. It's an important trial. It's an insane trial. But as far as the public scope of it, he'd be better off covering something coming up with Mr. Beast. Something coming up with whomever. Because it's a lot. It's a lot more recognizable. So it's just crazy, that idea. It defeats itself. What's up, Willie Billy? Thank you for the 5 there. No statement attached, but plenty of statement in backing. Appreciate you, Willie Billy. I like names that flow. He literally posts new videos on Laura virtually every day, and sometimes more than once a day. This is slightly reduced since the trial in June. Several months ago, he submitted a complaint to the bar against me that was later dismissed. Despite this, he made videos discussing the allegations. He posted videos. Encouraged people like Redacted to submit additional complaints. Obviously, I recognize and respect my ethical duty to cooperate with any investigation you may perform. I've always complied. At the same time, I want Mr. Lee to understand this is not a normal situation. The JFC cult has anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 active members or more. And they are absolutely obsessed with destroying Laura and anyone else who stands in the way of their goal. This is why I expect the bar to receive numerous additional complaints if they have not already. It's not an indication of misconduct. He's like, you're going to get a lot more complaints. Don't worry, though. That's not a statement about me.
Let me tell you something, Dad.
Oh, I heard you coming in. Yeah, what's up?
I have a lot of things of my mouth that Sissy opens the Oreos with her thought there was no Rocky Pops.
Really? Oh, my goodness.
That's the nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's if I want something, and I lie by my bed. Not too much. I had one thing. The milk close to the Oreos. And this is the bubblegum, Mimi. And this is the Coke.
Okay. Well, is there a mess then?
No.
Or is it just, it was close to the bag of them?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you move them apart from each other?
The bowl of Oreos can't do that because there's only one space for my mouth.
Oh, okay. Can you move the Can you move the Oreos out of the way?
Okay, I have to move everything else to the corner of the sink, okay?
Okay. All right. Okay. Just no mess, okay?
Okay,
All
love
right.
you.
Love you.
Tell me if you need some.
Okay. I'll tell you if I need something. Buddy bump. Boom. Buddy bump. Come on, bud. Buddy bump. Boom. All right. Good deal.
I jumped.
I saw you jump. You're so good jumper. Careful. Hey, don't hop on the steps though, okay?
About.
Take your time with the steps. Okay. Hey, close that door for me too. I'm almost done. Okay? Love you. Love you.
What did you say, Dad?
I said love you. Close the door for me.
Oh, no. Hardwood.
I said close the door for me too.
So, well, not to jump on the stairs.
Oh, don't jump on the stairs because it's dangerous to jump on the steps. Be careful. I don't want you falling. Okay? But you know that. You're a big kid. Thank you. Close the door for me. That's so funny. So she was like, oh my gosh. My sister, I know you had some Oreos up there. But she opened them. And she brought them to my bedroom. And she put them close to my remote. So if you see them, I didn't do that. I was like, really? I was like, she was like, and they're too close to the remote that I have in my bedroom. And I was like, well, can you move them? I can't move the remote. It has a specific place, which it does. It actually does. When it's not supposed to be in use, it's supposed to sit there. She's like, I can't move it. And I was like, well, that's true. That's true. I was like, can you move the Oreos? She's like, oh, yeah, I can. I'll move them back to where they belong. And I was like, okay. So essentially, she's telling me I took a couple of Oreos. And, I'm going to blame it on my sister. That's so funny. Lord. That's so funny. She just covered her bases. She thought that was a slick story to tell. She's like, Sissy brought him in and put him on my bed. I love it. Oh my God. That is funny. Yeah. What's funny is she was allowed to get a couple of Oreos. She just apparently, she was trying to be like sneaky about it. So, I don't know. That's so funny. So when I noticed 2 missing, there's an excuse for it. And by the way, K-Rap, thanks for the 2 there. Megan's in the chat. Megan, I blame you for everything. So, at the same time, let's say, okay, we got that. As always, happy to discuss any questions. Then you have the why I lost. I filed a bar complaint after insane conduct, and it was dismissed. Oh my God. What a monster. Look, there's a screenshot. There's a screenshot of a document. Why would he cover documentation? By the way, if you look at the document here, this has nothing to do with the complaint itself, as in it's not him revealing a document associated with that. This is actually a filing response talking about the response to the notice of change of judge for cause where that's being shot down. So it's like, wait, what? So the complaint about him covering all that's a problem? And again, I love this stuff. So here's the account he's complaining about. I thought this was fun. Like I said, I started laughing about that. David S. G. Redacted is officially under investigation, Arizona State Bar. This news comes shortly after we learned that Laura Redacted is currently under investigation in Maricopa County. Why would you include this, by the way? What kind of a moron would you have to be to include the fact that your client, the one that you want, to go on record talking about how You've done everything right and proper. It's under investigation. Why would you want that on file with them? Why would you want them looking further into that? Or looking further into the fact that you tried to shoot down the judge and that didn't work? I mean, what kind of an idiot would you have to be? You know? Now look, it's circled. Oh my gosh. Circles. Oh no. I mean, what's the complaint here, by the way? The AI did something? I mean, again, there's nothing. You can tell, like, these are AI. As you see, it's like nonsense words. So, then, oh no. We've received your correspondence. Oh no, it's been published. Oh, how could it? We received your correspondence regarding possible ethical impropriety. Above named lawyer. I will investigate your allegations. Assign a file number. Forwarded your copy. Correspondence to the lawyer. Request that a prompt written response be submitted. Absent unusual circumstances, I'll send you a copy of the lawyer response. An investigator may contact you at the conclusion of the preliminary investigation. I'll summarize the case, present it for review to the Bar Council. If after this review we determine no ethical violation to be proven, we'll dismiss and we'll notify you. We refer all recommendation other than dismissal or diversion to the attorney discipline. Okay, so they tell you how this works. The rules of the state court, Supreme Court of Arizona governs law. So it tells you how that's governed. I mean, what is this a problem with? How's this a fucking problem? They put in I mean, look at this. I mean, how is any of this a problem? Somebody explain this to me. Oh, because it laughs at him? I mean, he's gone out of his way. Again, typically people would never tune into most of us would not cover family court stuff. We cover paternity cases. Laura Owens put a spotlight on her. When she did, she brought up specific name. She wanted coverage off of that, and she got it. It just didn't go her way. So she brings in this guy, again, it's like a bull in a china shop. He's rampaging all over the place, making a mess of everything. And now there's complaints in the aftermath after the mess. He also really didn't answer. There's so much stuff that he did that's messed. Again, I think what would be a fascinating look would be, remember him posting certain Greg Gillespie items? And Greg Gillespie was pissed off about this. There was emails back and forth. You actually had the removal of that. I think there's a complaint there too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can concisely be laid out. I think somebody that speaks legalese actually doing that would be more conducive as well. But I mean, ultimately, will they do anything? Who knows? Probably not. To be honest, probably not. You know, it's kind of like the whole any group policing itself. Like, does anything really happen? Not very often, you know. Anytime you let a group self-police, that usually doesn't turn out very well. Anyway, I'm going to call it tonight. I think we're good. Tomorrow I'm going to cover some more with what the hell stuff I didn't want to cover today because they do live streams and stuff today. I wanted to hit a little bit of this. I also I'm still looking into a couple of there were a few weird Mr. Beast things that have come up. Really weird ones. So, there's so much stuff. But anyway, all right. I'm going to call it here. I appreciate you folks. And also, to end that, Puzzler noted Megan Fox is to blame for is to blame for those Oreos. You know, I knew it. But anyway, I appreciate you folks. I'll see you.